afternoon, esteemed colleagues, fellow researchers, and innovation enthusiasts. It is a distinct pleasure and honor to be here at the TRIZ Summit 2025. My colleagues, Professor Ravalisson François, Rangiana Tenen Aft, and I are excited to share our work with you today. Our presentation focuses on a critical challenge, the crisis in the energy industry in Madagascar, specifically in the context of restarting a major world project. This topic is extremely important for Madagascar, as been seen in the media recently, with nationwide protests throughout the country due to frequent electricity cuts and water shortage. Let's look at the actual situation on the ground in Madagascar. Madagascar is situated in this place, in the Africa continent. So the national hydroelectric power system, which should be our primary resources, is no longer able to meet the country's growing power demands. As you can see on the map, Madagascar possesses significant petroleum reserves, specifically in the form of heavy oil there. This is a massive resource already within the country. However, despite these reserves, the main national electricity utility still relies on importing heavy oil fuel from other countries to power its generators. So this is the main problem that our research is focused. In this slide illustrates a common challenge faced by many developing countries around the world, including Madagascar. When a country tries to launch a major petroleum project, it frequently runs into three major non-technical obstacles. First, regulatory uncertainty, shifting laws and unclear rules, political instability, changes in government and policy, conflicts between key stakeholders, disagreements between the government, investors, and local communities. The result of these three problems is almost always the same: petroleum projects stall. They get stuck, often for many years, costing billions and depriving the country of energy it desperately needs. But this is where our systemic approach changed the game. Instead of accepting these paralyzing contradictions, we apply the TRIZ approach directly to the systemic, non-technical issues. So by using the TRIZ approach to find truly inventive solutions, not compromises, we can overcome these political and regulatory contradictions. This allows the project to be developed and successfully restarted. Now let's look at the specific history of the Madagascar World project, who is the main company responsible of this project. Projects officially began in 2004, marked by the effective date of the contract. Over next few years, significant work was done: data analysis, equipment purchase, and even cold and hot production tests showing an average yield of 100 barrels per day. The project then proceeded to the pilot drilling campaign between 2010 and 20 11, continuing the development process. However, due to the non-technical issues we just discussed, the political and regulatory obstacles, the entire project stopped in 2014 and critically it remains stopped today. The research question is that how can this stalled whole project be revived in the face of Madagascar's current social, economic, political, and regulatory challenges? So, this slide shows our research process, which is structured around the systematic TRIZ approach. It involves 4 distinct steps. The first step is to collect problems. First, we need to fully understand the crisis. This involved a literature review and crucial interviews with the key stakeholders and people on the ground and to gather all relevant technical and non-technical issues. Next, we synthesize problems. So we process this raw data to find the root causes. We used analytical tools like the Ishikawa diagram and problem trees to structure and visualize the complex web of contradictions that were paralyzing the project. After that, we can apply TRIZ. We translated the systemic problems into 3 terms, identifying the technical and physical contradictions. We then use the classic TRIZ tools, such as the Altshuler matrix and separation principles, to generate inventive, non-compromises solutions. So at the last, we can translate these solutions and success strategies for innovation and implementable actions that overcome the original contradictions and allow the Madagascar World Project to be successfully restarted. So this diagram shows the sheet of problem synthesis steps. We found that the project's prolonged production shutdown sits at the center, not just due to one issue, but due to a complex system of failures. The root causes are clustered into 6 critical areas: financial, legal, environmental, technical, market, and political. Every single one of these factors contributes to the central problem. This represents the severity rating from 1 to 5 of each problems. So we can see that the market is the most important by all the causes. This slide shows the Pareto diagram, which corresponds to the severity ranking of all problems we identified. So on the right line, we got 3 major causes. This Pareto principle is key here. It helps us to determine the primary problems that must be solved urgently to unlock the entire project. As the diagram shows, a small number of problems causes the majority of overall severity. Specifically, the top 3 categories are market, political, and financial and economic, account for over 67% of the problems totally impact. We must focus our innovation efforts here first. So For the market issue, we have two major causes: unfair competition and key client and commit. Let's start for the unfair competition. We can see in this slide that the technical contradiction and correspondent solutions. To improve is market share, and that will deteriorate costs. After translating that in the form of generic and using Altshuler matrix, we have this solution principle. First is the principle 13, that is the inversion. It embedded anti-dumping clauses in contracts to shift competitive pressure back onto the client's procurement decisions. So invert the traditional relationship by co-developing a shared cost platform, making the client an active investment partner in mutual successes. Next solution is the using the principle 29, hydraulic and or pneumatic systems. It involves to employ ultra-efficient hydraulic pumps and pneumatic safety valves for fast, secure fuel transfer. Implement a hydraulic metering system to provide precise and undisputed delivery quantities, ensuring that. So next solution is the principle number 3, the local quality. So that means to ensure superior and certified quality, like as ISO certified delivery, and meet optimal viscosity benchmarks to demonstrate a top-tier product that outperforms competitors. So we also the principle number 27, short-living objects or ephemeral object. Deploy temporary commercial tactics, use flash promotions and short-term price reduction to quickly attract customers and disrupt competitor activity. We can also establish agile operational agreements, create temporary contracts with customs and transportation providers to accelerate clearance and guarantee reliable delivery during peak or rainy seasons. Also, we can use disposable monitoring, implement single-use sensors during transport and storage for on-demand quality verification, avoiding the cost of permanent systems. So that will maximize flexibility and speed. Also execute fast, time-limited initiatives to capitalize on opportunities and destabilize competitors while maintaining operational efficiency. So this represents the physical contradiction of the problem of unfair competition. To further resolve the conflict of unfair competition, we face a physical contradiction. The price needs to be both low, to be competitive, and high to ensure profitability. Using the separation principle, we can solve this in two ways in space by offering different prices to different client segments, and in time by dynamically adjusting prices for specific promotions or situations. So let's move on the second causes of market issue. It's the key client uncommitted. Concerning that problem, a key client is uncommitted, and our specific problem is that increasing persuasion efforts to improve their engagement will paradoxically deteriorate their trust in our reliability. So the technical contradiction is resolved using inventive principles. Primary, we can use the principle number 10, preliminary action. That means which advises us to prepare all arguments and documents responses in advance and even send positive testimonials before negotiations to build the client's confidence and lower their guard proactively. This slide introduces principle 13, that is the inversion, which flips the traditional source approach. Instead of us pushing the client to sign, the strategy is to create a situation where the client feels a natural pressure to commit on their own. This is achieved by demonstrating we have an alternative sales opportunity for their spot, all within a set deadline, making inaction a risk for them. Next principle is the principle 19, periodic action. This involves, for example, maintaining periodic contact with the key client or regularly communicating the company's advantages and strengths. Principle 35, parameter change, is also one of the solution determined, which solves the problem by adapting the core variables of for offer. We customize pricing with tiered plans and milestone-based payments, and adjust service on contract terms, like flexible timelines or performance-linked renewals, to perfectly align the client's specific needs and reduce their perceived risk. We can also formalize the physical contradiction, where the company needs to be both assertive to save time and patient to avoid damaging the client relationship. The solution is achieved through separation, like before. So in space, by applying slightly more pressure via informal channels like email, while maintaining a flexible and friendly tone in direct conversations. Separation in time gives us accelerating the procedure during periods of high demand or shortage, while maintaining a calm and patient approach in their normal conditions. So next is the political problem. This slide outlines the key political challenges facing the project. The main issues are lobbying effort against the project and direct political pressure to block it, which are likely fueled by opposition to the project alignment with support for green energy, all within a context of political instability that exacerbates these risks. So we start with support for green energy. The technical contradiction is that improving focus away from green energy to promote our project will deteriorate environmental reputation. Solution uses principle 3, that is also local quality, which involves reframing the project HFO, not as a generic fossil fuel, but by emphasizing its specific role, its specific local benefits, such as being sourced or refined locally to reduce transportation emissions, thereby justifying its environmental and economic value in this specific context. Another way is the principle 13. Inversion. Instead of positioning the HFO product as competitor to renewables, we can invert this by presenting it as a necessary ally that enables a safer and more stable energy transition, ensuring grid reliability while renewable sources are being scaled up. Next solution is the principle 21, that is acceleration. Urging governments to act with urgency. The core argument is that fast-tracking hydrocarbon exploitation is a pragmatic necessity to avoid stranded assets and secure short-term energy stability, which in turn paradoxically accelerates the long-term energy transition, creating a win-win for both stakeholders and climate goals. Last solution for this part is the parameter change. Similar to earlier adjustments, a revised contractual framework is necessary to formally integrate green transition commitments.
Yes, 8 minutes left.
Okay. This slide addresses physical contradiction. That means that the project must ensure immediate energy, must be a priority to ensure immediate energy stability, and must be subordinate as not to hinder the green transition. Separation principle gives us in space restricts HFO to hide demand zones and ban it in regions with green alternatives. This dual approach transforms HFO into a transitional bridge, resolving immediate crises while channeling resources toward a fossil-free future. In terms, negotiates a limited regional also HFO contracts with a legally binding sunset clauses, ensuring phase out of infrastructure is totally operational. So, lobbying against the project. So, to improve its reputation, that will deteriorate the competitive environment. So, after using Altshuler matrix, we determinate three solutions. First is the principle 35 parameter change, adapting projects elements due to reduce criticism and limit lobbying influence. This involves technical improvements, cleaner technologies, higher qualities, stronger reliability, and proactive communication strategy with influential allies to build public trust. The mechanical vibration gives us that we need to destabilize and neutralize the impact of lobbying without direct confrontation. The approach involves undermining the credibility of opposing arguments by publishing alternative, transparent, and well-sourced data. So last is the principle 34, discarding and recovering. It aims to neutralize opponents' arguments by rejecting their questionable claims and regenerating an alternative narrative rooted in objective data and credible counter proposal. Instead of confronting adversaries head-on, it dissolves their critics by exposing omissions or contradictions in their reasoning while showing alternative facts, independent studies, or improved solutions that invalidate their stance. So, as before, physical contradiction is formulated as in the screen. So the project must maximize the communication of its strengths to convince clients and in the same time minimize the dissemination of sensitive information. So that means for fueling opposing lobbying efforts. So separation in space, the communication should be tailored to specific audiences and geographical areas, adopting a neutral or technical tone in sensitive contexts while highlighting competitive advantages in more favorable environment. So in time, the project's strengths when a risk of opposition is lower, such as in the normal situation, and approval or during period of reduced media attention.
And you have 3 minutes left.
Okay, okay.
And we have at least one question in our chat.
Okay. So the political instability does not have yet a solution in Altshuler's matrix, but he has a solution using physical contradiction like presented in the present slide. Also, the political pressure to block the project does not yet have a solution in Altshuler's matrix. So the financial and economic problem is resolved like we did before. We formulate technical contradiction first and determine all the principle to give us solutions. And after that, we can formulate also a physical contradiction for all three causes, like we will see the last causes, for example, for high costs of technology to improve the wall recovery efficiency that will deteriorate viability of investment that gives us four solutions like a segmentation, for example, segmentations, dividing funding sources, offering diverse instruments to attract a range of investors with different risk profiles. Also, parameter change, replacing traditional energy with solar thermal to cut costs and emissions, adopting modular steam generators to reduce upfront and expenses and boost flexibility. So we can also inject solvents to enhance recovery while lowering energy demands.
I'm so sorry. Can we go to the conclusions because time is over?
Okay, sure, Alexander, sure. Okay. So the conclusion is that Chemroad projects demonstrates TRIZ effectiveness in solving complex challenges. By applying technical and physical contradiction, the methodology enables innovation, efficiency optimization, and enhanced investor and community engagement. Overall, TRIZ provides a structured, versatile, revitalized complex projects in challenging environments. It may also unlock new perspective and viable across technical and non-technical domains. So thank you for your attention. I have terminated my presentation.
Thank you for your presentation. We have some questions, but unfortunately we have time to ask you. So maybe my colleagues will text you via email to get the answers, right? Okay?
That's okay, no problem.
Спасибо. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander.
Итак, коллеги, это был наш последний спикер на сегодня. Наша секция TRIZ в бизнесе подошла к концу, но конференция у нас еще продолжается. Попрошу вас не забывать проголосовать за доклад, который вам понравился больше всего. И ждем вас завтра в это же время по этой же ссылке на нашей третьей секции TRIZ в образовании. До новых встреч. До завтра.